welcome to the homestead. Wyatt and Ellie and I just got back from a quick trip down to Denver. We dropped off Nathan and Ethan and Lillian. They're going to go visit Nathan's dad out of state. We had a great trip down to Denver and now we're home. A little update on our backyard grass. It is sprouted, it is growing, even in the bare spots. It is sprouting and growing. Let me show you. See these little blades of grass coming in? There. And even here where the straw has blown away. It's up about 3/4 of an inch. We thought the grass seed had blown away, except where it's covered with the straw. But you can see it's growing. Now we put down a grass seed mix. It's called something like Hardy Northern Lawn or something. But it's doing very well, even with the lack of cover. Just amazing to me. I'll probably mow this probably 2 to 4 weeks from now. I don't want to mow it too soon, so I don't want it to dry out. But we'll keep watering it, and I'll fertilize it here probably today before this rainstorm hits.
This is my seed box this year. I probably won't use the same system next year, but I'm trying to stay on the ball, trying to get stuff planted. And of course, you know, this year we don't really have a garden, so I'm kind of making this up as I go along. But I've got my list of things when I planted it, when it will be ripe, because our short season, I gotta make sure I'm not planting things that can't even ripen before the end of the season. But I have a whole bunch of seeds that actually need to go in the ground that haven't been planted because I've been so busy. But hopefully after this supposed snowstorm is passed, that things will thaw out and get warm again.
It's April 25th, and this is what I've been working on all day. I'm potting up for replanting all of these are onions, asparagus. They needed more room. You can see my little nasturtiums were getting really sad, so they needed some more room. So I potted them up in some planters. This would be a hanging basket. I don't know, I'll just have to see if these are gonna make it. They'll probably be okay. But I need to get the cold frame set up outside. We still have about 5 weeks before our last frost date here on the homestead. I'm planning for a June 1st planting on most of these. And there's my rhubarb. I think that's about, what, 42 plants? Something like that. That's a lot of rhubarb. But I'm planning on putting that out in the orchard. Same with the asparagus. This is dill, and yeah, this is more dill than I can ever use. But I like to make pickles, so the plan is to raise cucumbers this summer and do some dill pickles. And these are for my tomatoes and peppers and things that I need to get going here in just a little bit. So this is the result of my work yesterday. I planted a lot of the early summer crops. I've got my tomatoes and my peppers planted. Those are down here. I've got the peppers on a heat mat. Can't see in there. There we go. And all of these should start sprouting within the next week or two. Once they start sprouting, I'll take the domes off. Lots of different stuff. I've had to shove the little markers down in so I can put the domes on. But I planted the cabbage and the broccoli, cauliflower, tomatoes and peppers. I'm running behind on the brassicas. Just how it ended up this spring. And then these are my baby plants that I planted about 5 weeks ago. These are not all of them. I actually have a bunch of them sitting outside. But these are all growing very well. A lot of them are not quite ready to harden off. These are like my lavender and things like that, and they're just a little bit slow to develop. And then up here I've got my chives and things like that, and they're not coming along quite as fast as the other things that are sitting outside. These are all celery, and yes, the celery is overplanted, but I'm planning on using the thinnings as they develop. So I went ahead, celery seed is very small, so I went ahead and overplanted, and then I can just take part of these as they get bigger. But these will go out into the cold frame when I get it done here. Probably I'll wait a couple of weeks to put them out there just so it's not so cold out. We're supposed to get temperatures down in the mid to low 30s this week, so I don't want to rush on putting any of these plants out. And I also need a little bit of time to build a cold frame, which I haven't even started on. But you can see the basil is doing very well. I love basil. It smells so good. It's a beautiful plant. And there's my sage in the back. And it's just really growing really well. Baby plants make me very happy. These are the plants that I'm working on hardening off. It's quite overcast today. It's not supposed to rain until this evening. So, Wyoming, with our altitude, it's hard not to get little baby plants sunburned. So I figured with it being overcast this week that it would be good to get these out to start hardening off. It's very windy here, so these plants are going to have to deal with a lot of beating just from the wind alone. Plus then, of course, the sunburn effect of the sun with our altitude. But they seem to be doing really good. They're kind of nestled in our back stoop, so they're not getting the full brunt of the wind. Back up here so you can see. So they're kind of nestled in here, and it's actually quite calm today. So just enough wind to wiggle the plants. Now yesterday it was quite windy, and I finally had to bring the plants inside because it was just, all the plants were leaning over one direction and looked quite stressed out. So I brought them in the house, and that's why they were all over the house yesterday. Well, this is what the weather is like tonight. Glad I don't have any plants outside, or they'd be goners. I don't have good light out here, but you can see having quite the windstorm. Not only is it cold, but it's extremely windy. It's been windy for the entire day. In fact, out there, where you can't see in the darkness, this snow fence has actually ripped in half, and it's flying out into the yard. Because of the cold temperatures and the windstorm, a bunch of my plants have taken up residence in our dining room. Need to get that cold frame built. So far the little kids haven't played with my onions. Except one little sad one here. But I think it has recovered. It was really wilty earlier. Let me show you my new seedlings. I planted these seeds only 3 days ago. Let me show you.
Some of these I'm not surprised that they're sprouted. Like my lettuce, I expected that to be sprouted already. The oregano, of course, is not sprouted. But my calendulas, the marigolds, let's see what is in here. You can see way back. It's a baby tomato plant. 3 days. It's just amazing to me on tomatoes. There was even one in this tray. Right there. Let's see if I can find it. See a little sprig of green? It's a little baby tomato plant. Now these are my cabbage right here in the front. And then I have a decorative thing growing back there. It's some of that blue fescue stuff for decoration. Ellie picked it out at the store. And of course the peppers, they're still down here. Peppers can take a while to germinate, so they're still under cover. Kohlrabi's coming up, and this was no surprise either. The broccoli is in full swing already. And then because all of these were sprouting, some of my plants had to be moved. Although, full disclosure, I already had those lights hanging up there just in case. So that's it for our spring update. I am continuing work on our cold frame. I'll show you a video of that coming up here soon. I'm also working on our brooder area, and I have a video I'm working on that. And I'm also working in the orchard. It's been a crazy week this week, but I wanted to get you a quick update of what's growing and what's going on. If you enjoy our videos, please like and subscribe. Share them with anybody you think would also be interested in our videos. And you just have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Bye.